Yo, what is up, my fallopian tubers? Cesario from the barrio. Coming back at you with another video for your butt. And today's gonna make another one of those off the cuff videos. You know, those take these handcuffs off of me videos. Uh, just gonna talk, so this might take a while, might not. Uh, so I guess today's topic is going to be my 69 top set. You know, a lot of people like to say that every card has a story, you know, like a meaning or whatever and stuff like that. As a set collector, you know, like my 58 and my 69 also has kind of a little story behind it, I guess. You know, it's not like your average person that goes to a card shop or goes to a card show, goes to the National and just buys a complete set. You know, there's not much of a story behind that. But this one, I guess, is a little bit, you know, a little interesting. You know, I remember I used to make. This will probably qualify to go into my tales from the hobby videos that I used to make, kind of similar, I guess. So, anyways, let me get to the 69 set. That was also kind of a, what do you call it, like accidental, just faith, if you will. You know, starter set that fell upon my lap, kind of. To start off telling you about it, basically, there was this one dude on Instagram. Like I said, this is a long time ago, way before YouTube, before I started my YouTube channel. And little by little, he was selling, like, every once in a while he would put up 169 card of a star. You know, so I think the first card I bought from him was the Nolan Ryan. You know, this is a long time ago, and these are rare. I mean, rare, raw. They're raw. You know, I can't believe I have to say that now. You know, before you would just say it's a 69 card and everybody knew it was just a card. You know, now because of slabs, you have to kind of differentiate, right? If it's in a slab or raw. Which I think if you just say baseball card should be universal, that it's not slab. It's a baseball card on its own. But anyways, I digest. So yeah, there's this one guy. Little by little, he was selling off. His, you know, and he had been on Instagram for a long time, and I had dealt with him before. Because when I first got back into the hobby, that's all I collected was vintage. I wasn't really buying modern. And this guy was just selling off, like, you know, cards of great players, but not like their early years. You know what I mean? So, but the 69 Nolan Ryan was, you know, pretty much his second year card. It was a great card. But I bought that off of him. Then he put up, you know, like the Tom Seaver and so on and so on. And then eventually put up the Mickey Mantle, and I got the Mickey Mantle. So, you know, I started dealing with him. And so, like I said, I was just buying 69s from him. And then he was selling the 58 All-Star Mickey Mantle. So I sent him the money for that. You know, this was during Dodger season. So whenever the Dodgers are in town, I get a Dodger check. That's kind of, you know, I could spend a little more than usual. You know, $60 or $80. And so I purchased the 58 Mantle from him. And so dude's like, yeah, I'm gonna send it to you, and it should be out tomorrow and this and that. And so then that was it. That was the last I heard from him. And I guess let me explain what I mean. That was the last I heard. Not the very last time, but a month passed by. You know, and then I started like DMing some people on Instagram. I was like, hey, I ordered these cards from so and so, and he hasn't sent them. And then the word started spreading around that people that bought cards from this dude, nobody was receiving them, and he was a great dude in the community, like really reliable, trusted him 100%. Right? So I remember back then, this was a long time ago. People were asking like, how long should it take before you blast somebody? You know what I mean? If you think they scammed you, you know, like there should be a window, because then stuff happens where You blast somebody and they were in the hospital. There's some kind of crazy excuse. Their house got blown out in a tornado. Then you feel all bad about yourself. But so, a lot of people said like a month at that time. I think people now would probably say a week or 2 weeks. But I don't know. Maybe I could be wrong. But so eventually, I got up to like 8 months where I didn't hear from this guy. So I just figured my card was gone. You know. So I figured, okay, I'm just not getting that card. I got scammed. That was like my first time getting scammed. I was like, oh well, I got scammed. Everybody says eventually it's gonna happen to you. So 8 months passed by, right? And then that dude puts up a post on Instagram, and I'm like, whoa, what's going on? So I DM'd him right away, messaged him, and he was just like, oh, what? You didn't get that card? And I'm like, come on, dude, it's been 8 months. Where you been? Like this and that. And he didn't tell me exactly where he had been. But what the story was that he gave all the packages that he was sending out on his last day. He was turning himself into prison. So he was turning himself into prison. Was going to prison for a while. I guess that's why he was selling off all his cards. Probably to have commissary money or whatever. But so he went to prison for 8 months, right? And I think he was doing a year, but he got out in 8 months. So I right away messaged him. As soon as he posted up, I was like, whoa, what's going on here? Dude, wait, where's my card? You scammed me and this and that. And he's like, hey, no, that's not what happened. So when he turned himself in, he had all these packages for his girlfriend to mail out. Gave her the money, hundreds and hundreds of dollars because there was so many packages. Gave her the money, and she drove him over there, and he went into prison, turned himself in, and she just drove off, whatever. So 8 months later, when he gets out of prison, everybody starts telling, hey, I never got received these cards and this and that. He didn't have social media in prison, obviously. So when so he tells me, he's like, shit, I gotta talk to my girlfriend, and so yeah, sure enough, they were in the trunk of her car, or his car. They were still in the trunk for 8 months. All these packages sat in the trunk. So he mailed it off to me. But 8 months is a long time. So before those 8 months were over, I bought myself another 58 All-Star Mantle. Well, am I supposed to be talking about the 69 top set? Oh, but so had already bought one, and I had it in my binder. So when I received the one that I had sent out, through him, that I bought from him, and I got it, I didn't need two. I mean, Mickey Mantle's my favorite player, but it's like many things. I don't need two. It's cool if I have them, but I think I was reaching my 200 subscribers, so I just I'm just gonna give it away for my subscriber giveaway. Like back in the days, man, 200 was a big milestone. That was like my ultimate. I remember reaching 100, and then when I reached 200, like that was my goal. I was like, when I got on YouTube, I said I want to have 200 subscribers. Nowadays it's probably hard for newer people to understand that. But hardly anybody in the car community had 1,000 subscribers back then. Like it was like an impossible feat. Almost. There was very few people that had 1,000 subscribers back then. So my goal was 200. So once I reached 200, I just been like, I don't chase subscribers. I was like, I reached my goal. I'm happy. I'm a happy ass YouTuber. So where was I going with that? So yeah, I gave it away, and that's one of the crazy things. Like I remember when I was a newer YouTuber, I had a lot of kids that follow me. One of the first people, like when I first got on YouTube, my whole intention was like, I'm just gonna make videos drinking beer and talking about cards, and smoking. But eventually I had too many kids watching me, so I had to like tone it down, big time. And then for me, like a blessing in disguise was what is it, COPPA? Was it called COPPA? Do you guys remember that? when everybody thought like the card community was gonna get wiped off of YouTube. It was like a serious fear. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, when COPPA came out, I mean, YouTube content creators that were making Pokemon videos, baseball card videos, were scared for their lives, leaving YouTube or like just turning off their channel, not making videos when the rules went in place. You know, so there was a lot of fear mongering, like, oh, you know, there's not gonna be a card community. Yeah, COPPA's gonna wipe us all out. We can't make baseball card videos as adults, which made no sense to me. But people were telling people that there's not gonna be a card community. So people were leaving and starting like other channels somewhere else, to make card videos. But anyways, I don't know how many of you guys remember that, but like I said, to me that was almost like a blessing, because the only thing that now that I see different between now and pre-COPPA was I don't have any kids following me anymore. Back then, I had a lot of kids that followed me. And so to me now, it just seems like there's no kids on YouTube, but it's because of the COPPA thing and the way they regulate. So I don't have kids following my channel now, and to me that's a good thing, because I don't intend to make my channel for kids. It's for men. You know, that sounds, not so alpha male. I don't know how to say it without offending people, but you know what I mean? Jelly bean, you understand, rubber band? But anyways, so yeah, I feel like I can drink, I can smoke, because my videos are only being watched by adults now, not by kids. So, cheers to you, my friend. So, yeah, the 69 top set. So this guy, once he got back out and he was posting again and selling, he put up a starter set for the 69 tops. So I messaged him right away, but I already had his phone number at this time, so obviously I would just text him or call him. And so I was able to work out a deal with him for the 69 starter set. So what had turned out is that before he was going to jail, he was selling all the star cards as singles. And then once he sold as many as he could, he just had the starter set left over. You know what I mean? Basically, mostly all the commons. But because I already bought a lot of the stars off of him, the big cards, the Mickey Mantle, the Nolan Ryan, the Tom Seaver, all the major stars, I already bought them from him. So it wasn't like a big task to finish the rest, so I thought. So I ended up buying them for him. I got them, and I started my starter 69 top set, for cheap. So I never, when I was growing up, said I want to collect the 69 top set. It just kind of fell upon my lap, So that's kind of how I started the 69 set series. So the 69 tops is a really cool, and on my spine I have Doc Ellis. So Doc Ellis, man, has a great story, and obviously this set is a little smaller. It only has It has 660 cards compared to the average top set, modern top set, that has 792. So when you have 792 cards, the pages itself will fill up the binder till it's even. That's what you want. If you're a binder collector, you want to make sure that when you store your cards, these are even, that these are parallel. Not numbered parallels, just parallel, where they're equal. So sometimes with smaller sets like this, because if you have an 800 card set, oh man, I just dropped a bunch of cards I was organizing. Check it out. Corey Seager. You need to supplement that little space you have left. You can see on the D-ring, you want to be able to fill up those D-rings. If it doesn't, you want to use like a magazine or something to boom, fill in that gap. Alright, so that's very, very important when you have binders. A lot of people will tell you like, oh, binders ruin my cards, they sag. It was like, prevent the sagging, dumbass. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. It's like, well, if you follow the precautions, make sure your stuff is tight. It's gotta be tight, tight like tiger. You know what I mean? And then they won't sag. It's like a simple secret, you know. And I have a whole video talking about that. I was gonna show you, you know, how to do it and how to squeeze and all this, but never mind. So the 69 top set, yeah, that's basically how I started it. Then after that, I also gave myself 5 years, just like I did for the 58, to complete it. And I still had quite a ways to go because he had other set collectors, I guess. You know, at first I thought he just got rid of stars, but he had other set collectors that had hit him up and already taken away a lot of stuff for their checklist. So I gave myself 5 years to complete the 69 top set. So, you know, I remember it's tied up. I don't know if you guys watched my other story about when my cards got stolen. Well, the 69 tops, Mickey Mantle was one of them. And, you know, this was kind of like a something I learned that I didn't know before because of that. So I had my backpack. I had a backpack that I had, and I had a bunch of my cards. And this is one I only collected vintage. So I had like the Sandy Koufax rookie in there. I had the 69 tops Mickey Mantle, the 56 tops Mickey Mantle. I had a Don Drysdale. I had a Pee Wee Reese in there. I had a bunch of cards that basically somebody stole, but I was able to recover them. So that's in one of my Tale of the Hobby stories. So I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys know that story. You don't want to hear it again. But I was able to get my cards back from this tweaker who took my cards and dumped them in a dumpster. So that same day, I went to my LCS to Frankensons. That has a lot of tables, and I went, you know, and took my 69 set. Like after that, it kind of motivated me to go complete the set, and I went looking for commons. And I remember going to this one dude, and I was looking through his 69 commons. Let me see your, do you have the Mickey Mantle already in your 69? And I'm like, yeah, I already have it. And he's like, oh, let me see it. So I went in the binder, and I looked for it, and I couldn't find it in the binder. And I was like, oh man, shit. And then I remember, oh no, I told him I have it in my pocket. I had it in my cargo pockets because all the cards that, after that incident, I decided like, okay, maybe carrying a bunch of my favorite cards in my backpack 24/7 isn't the smartest idea. Because I used to love to take my cards everywhere I went, to the beach, to the park, wherever, to work, and take pictures of them. I was like, they were my friends. Almost. It sounds stupid, but yeah. You know, so he tells me, he's like, oh, and so I pulled out the 69 Mantle from my pocket, and he looks at it, and then I was like, oh, and he was kind of like disappointed, and I was like, yeah, it's not the greatest shape, Mamo, but I love it. And then he's like, no, it's not that. And then he schooled me about the yellow and the white, you know, Mickey Mantle, the short print, I guess is what you would call it these days. So what he was talking about, so that was the first time I learned that. You see here how the name, this one is in white, right? So you open them up, and there's different colors. But Mickey Mantle had a variation between a white and a yellow. You know, so that was like the first time I learned about that. And so if you have that card, it's worth so much more, you know, more, so it'd be more expensive to pick up. So obviously I didn't have that one. So, but that was consequently how I learned about, you know, that, because I did it, you know. So anyways, yeah, that's how I completed my 69 top set. Oh yeah. The last card that I got. So I've been to the National twice, you know, and I remember going to the National looking for my ones. I only needed one card for my 69 top set, which was card number 9. You know, not a great crazy card, nothing rare, but for whatever reason I had exhausted all the places that I could look for cards, even the National. All my LCSs, you know, maybe there was one there that I just missed, but I tried to do my due diligence as far as looking for it, you know. And so say number 9 was the last card on my checklist. So let's just say I had, by that time in the last 10 years, I had 20 people ask me for a checklist, and nobody had number 9. Every LCS that I went to, every card show, everywhere that I looked, they didn't have number 9. So one day I made a video on YouTube and I was like, I need card number 9 to complete my set. I don't know why, but for whatever reason, I can't find it. And so, that was just a video. And then a week later, man, I think I got like 7 or 9, 7 or 9 number 9, 1969 cards. And it just bugged me out. Like, man, it's a trip when you just think about it. Everywhere I looked, never found a number 9. And then, in reality, there's thousands of people out there who have that number 9 card. And I just never came across them. But thanks to YouTube, I found a bunch of them. So that is how I completed my 1969 set. And that's all I got, folks. Yeah. So every set has a story. I know it's not the best story, but it's not I just went to a place and I bought it, or I just clicked on a computer button and I bought it and it arrived at my door. That's called hand correlated. When you do that, that's called a hand correlated set. And most of my sets are hand correlated. I put them together one by one. Except for during the COVID period, I gave myself an exception because I wasn't allowed to go to LCS. There was no card shows. All my card shops were closed. So I gave myself an excuse that I could buy completed sets. So I ended up buying a lot of the 90s that I needed in 2000s during that set. Those aren't hand correlated, but I don't care. When I put vintage sets together, I'm gonna hand correlate them. That's just the business. So I love the hobby and keep collecting baseball cards forever, SA. Ciao. Yeah, so in case you do not know, and I really don't know, but this is just what I've always thought growing up, and I think I heard this one somewhere, but I can't remember where. Say like the 1958 Topps Mickey Mantle All-Star card. That card was triple printed. So let me explain to you how that happened. So say Topps has a set that's 800 cards. All right, and each of these sheets holds 100. So there's 100 cards, but no. Let's say they have 750 cards, but the sheets are 100. So when they make the last sheet, they only need 50, and then they have 50 spots left. So what they do is just put other cards in there that they want to make more of. So on the last sheet, and there was already a Mickey Mantle on it, they decided to put another two 1958 Topps All-Star like this, so there was 3 of them, and that's how it gets triple printed. I hope I explained that right. It feels like I don't. Damn you. Oh yeah, and another quick little fact. Mickey Mantle has his last card is in 1969, but he never played in 1969. He was in spring training, and he had a 299 batting average, and he wanted to bring it above 300 at lifetime, but he was also afraid he wouldn't be able to. So before the season started, he just retired. All right, but that's why he was supposed to play in 69, but he just retired and called it quits because he knew he was kind of deteriorating. So while he had a 1969 Topps, he never played in 1969. We're out here just to get lumpy. We're out here just to get lumpy. We're out here just to get lumpy. Love the hobby, people. Just keep collecting baseball cards forever, I say. Ciao.